ready to start. Okay, you guys, mics are hot. Good morning, everyone. We will restart here. We'll end our recess from yesterday, and it is 9 o'clock, and so we will get started. If there is some things we need to catch up on or whatever, 9:15 is our first scheduled hearing. And if they're here, we could start early if you want to.
We can do this. Ann has asked that we clarified our motion from yesterday on this November bonus payment thing. So I'd like to make a motion that we add that the performance pay is paid in November to any employees who have submitted their.
That's not what you're asking, right?
No,
She wants to be able to pay it
in October.
in October.
This
She's
says
concerned about-
November.
Well, it says, can we please amend the motion? At the bottom, it says, can we make it move it to October?
Oh, that's fine. You know, so you've ever seen October.
Yeah, with election and all the holidays in November, it's payroll's crazy.
Oh, for the way it falls this year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so I make a
Falls
motion.
that way every year. Yeah.
Okay.
And when we talked about it, we didn't have this schedule, so Sean was like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, calm down, they're reasonable people.
We have 4 holidays in November.
So I make a motion that we pay the performance bonus pay in October, first paycheck.
Let's just say October.
Just say October, you
Although
figure
we're
it.
fast.
All right.
Because we'll
Okay.
still have to advertise that too, won't we, for an
have
additional
a-
appropriation.
We will
But it would be
decide.
before that.
Yeah. Just thinking about the
I'll
time.
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the performance
Paid
to
it.
be paid out in October. Is there discussion on that?
Whatever works best for the auditors.
Yes.
I'm good with.
The auditor and payroll will take the responsibility of when the timing is.
I think I know why you're saying that, Nancy. Well, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it passes 7-0. Do we have any other catch-up or things that we need to do until our 9:15? And if our
It's close to
9:15
9:15, so.
Bring them in.
If they're here,
Is it here?
let's get
I think
started.
it is well, too.
And you can use another chair over there too.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. We're starting a little bit early for you, so.
Well, that's why we got here early.
Excellent, excellent. Do you have any comments or anything you want to state before perhaps the council asks questions for you?
Sure, yeah, so our main ask here for this budget is we're wanting to change our part-time urban conservationist to full-time. I mean, I'm sure it's no news to you, the county is growing a lot. I mean,
Really?
3 of our townships
Really?
have like well over 2/3 of our population. And we think that in order to appropriately serve their communities, we need to have someone who is concentrated on urban conservation. And we think by making him full-time, we will be able to do that so much better than we could with just part-time.
So you've got a demand for this?
I would say there's definitely a demand. I mean, I know he's got several site visits scheduled right now where he's going to go out to homeowners land and kind of evaluate what conservation practices they can implement and help them establish a garden that is not just like a garden, but also something that works well with the land too.
If I might.
Sure.
So one of the things that we're hoping in the next year is to really focus our planning efforts and our outreach efforts for the SWCD to urban neighborhoods, to urban kind of practices. And up to this point, the people that we've had and the amount of staffing that we've had has really been dedicated for the number of large-scale farmers in the area. That, as you know, has been decreasing. We've been able to meet that demand and offer the services that are requested and being used at that point. But right now, we're transitioning into urban. So we're having a lot more calls coming into the office asking, what can we do in our neighborhood with planting native plants? What can we do about rain gardens? They're learning all these different conservation techniques, mostly through social media. There's a big push for kind of back to the land, more towards homesteading or being more self-sufficient. And so up to this point, we haven't had people that have really specialized in that. And we have a new person, Jesse, who's been working part-time, who has a market garden, sells at the farmer's market, and is really connected into a lot of those topics and has the knowledge of that. And so we want to utilize him, kind of really blow up that position and figure out how we can go out into the community and actually get the word out about what the SWCD does, the importance of conservation in Hendricks County. Because it's not just about our large-scale farmers, it's about if we patch all of these small lawns, all of these backyards, the impact that we can have on our county, but also, you know, the ecosystem around us is big, but we have to get that word out. And unfortunately, that takes a lot of manpower to really reach people. And so we've put a lot of things together behind the scenes, but we hope to really expand that more towards what some of the larger counties are doing. So we look at, you know, the Hamilton County, they have a very robust program. They have a lot of full-time people that are dedicated towards the urban agriculture. And so we're kind of using them as an example and trying to figure out what of those techniques we can use in our county to really make that impact.
Speaking for myself, I think that's a good idea for you to transition. I grew up on a farm and in a very small town, but Hendricks County, the eastern side especially, has just changed so much and continues to change that would be a good transition for you. I'm speaking obviously for myself. So,
To me, just 7,000 more from part-time to full-time doesn't seem like that's enough.
Well, yep, sorry.
I
go.
was gonna say, when we took on last year, the part-time, so we had a part-time employee and we added a full-time employee. That was what the council had suggested, and it worked wonderful. It was nice to have that additional position in there. But that part-time employee, we budgeted $50,000 for that part-time employee. You can look,
And
all
use
we
that
have
now.
expended to date is $19,000.
That's what I'm saying,
So essentially, the increase is small from what we're asking for him to be part-time to full-time.
It looks like you're paying both conservationists the same, is what your
In
goal.
2027, we hope to do that. That's correct. We would like them, both of them being full-time, we'd like their salaries to be the same. Essentially, they are, the per hour is the same currently. The one is just she's full-time, the other is part-time. So when we move him to a full-time, we would like their salaries to be the same.
from the council standpoint, when we change from part-time to full-time, then that brings in the benefit factor.
And that's the biggest ask for us.
And so, and that benefit factor is approaching or is on the order of 50% of what the wage is or the salary. So it does increase.
You're correct. That's the big ask.
Considerably more than the 7,000.
Yeah.
But we understand that, so.
Yeah.
And the issue is the gentleman that's working for us, he is just coming off his parents' policy, so he no longer has insurance, and he's starting a business as well. And so he has to have some type of benefit. So if we can't move to full-time, we're gonna have to lose that position.
Well,
Him
we like to
specifically.
have really good people, obviously, in our positions, but it's our positions that we look at rather than the individual person. So I mean, it's good that you feel that way. However, from a financial standpoint, so.
Yeah, I just mean, like, it's hard for us to get people that could have that impact if it's not something that offers benefits, so.
I certainly understand. Yeah. Counsel?
Oh, go ahead, you raise your hand. I was, Chuck and I sit on the recycling board, and it sounds like you guys have a lot of things that would meld together, and they do a big program in the schools to get education out, but they are working alongside you in the same area, so I didn't know if you ever contacted or wanted to just get ideas from them, or there's Katie and Katie and Amy, they focus on that, and they have fine-tuned that program. It's pretty impressive. So it sounds like you're taking on that type of education.
We also work collectively quite a bit with the Clean Water Department and Sarah Wolf in the education that we do. She's been very helpful as well.
And we also are, like, just as a specific example, we are going to try and work with Danville Community Schools because they're trying to develop an outdoor learning center there, and we're going to be a big part of that project too. And what this might help us do is that our other full-time conservationist is probably going to be the person that's really helping with that project. So having another full-time person in the office would really help make sure that she has the opportunity to, you know, have the time to work with those people and do other projects like that.
Sounds like you've thought it through.
Mr. Wyatt?
I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, you had somebody departing. You had somebody prepared to come in, and I think we did an additional appropriation to bring that person in the end of 2025.
At the beginning of '26 is when we brought them in, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
All right, because I was
The
thinking,
new, so what it was in '25, we had someone leaving
yes,
that was part-time.
was that Bree?
It was
Yes.
Bree.
Okay.
We wanted Bree's position to become
Full-time.
full-time.
Yeah.
And so you all said, yes, we can move that full-time, but let's keep the part-time position. So that's how we ended up with a full-time and a part-time position. Was we, I guess, essentially kept her position.
Yeah.
But then we added in '26 the full-time position.
And is that still the same individual?
It is.
Okay.
The part-time position did not, no, I said that, I apologize, I misspoke. We hired the full-time
Last year.
last year, and then we added the part-time in the beginning of '26.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes,
because
you're
I was
correct,
thinking we
sorry.
were doing
I flipped those, that's correct.
I was thinking there was something with transitioning this person, that you didn't want to lose that individual.
That's correct.
And we thought, let's go ahead and move forward, and we did an additional appropriation to fill that spot, so that individual could come in full-time and move forward.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Are you going to ask for this position to be full-time in the remainder of this year, or when this starts with the '27 budget?
It could start with the '27 budget.
More questions, comments? Looking for a,
I do have letters of support from the community. You know, if that's, you know, what, things that he has done, from, you know, our Porter Farm, our demo farm, the owners of that, you know, what he has done out there from, the Natural Resource Conservation Service.
if you would leave those with
Yeah,
us. Yes.
absolutely.
Mr. President, I move the approval of the 2s, 3s, 400s for soil and water.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the 2s, 3s, and 4s. Further discussion? Whoops.
Who's second?
David?
Excuse me, Dave Wyatt. Any further thoughts, considerations? No? Hearing none? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So in regards to your ask,
Mr. Waffen?
Aye.
Okay, so hearing none on the nay, it passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
so this is the list that we have so far, starting today with employment changes. So yours is, so you're just got on the bottom, it doesn't mean it's the last one. Okay.
The rest of the budget you just approved. It was-
Yeah.
It's your expenses, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll have to have this discussion, and
Sure.
then we will get consideration from the commissioners as well. Okay?
Thank you for your time.
very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And who do you want us to leave these with? Right.
Thank you.
That's Harlan Truex's grandson.
Yes, that's correct. Sometimes I gotta think.
Yeah, Harlan's grandpa. I can't even put those days.
Is it
Harlan's dad?
No.
Hal. Hal.
Hal.
Yeah.
Hal.
Not Hal, H-O-W, Hal.
H-A-L, yeah. Hal Truex.
Yes.
Must be here. It's the letters.
Oh.
You want to read them?
Next on our agenda is the assessor's office.
She's not on the schedule till 10 now.
I think all of you have a copy of what Ann prepared as far as the requests for additional positions. Want to have some discussion on that at this point, or?
What are the commissioners think on all these?
Don't know yet.
I had a commissioner text me, he thought a couple of them were not needed yesterday, so
Yeah.
I'd like to wait to hear their opinion.
From the commissioners.
You want to hear the commissioner's opinion?
Yeah, just because I had one of them text me, he thinks a couple of them right off the top aren't needed, so. Didn't say which ones, but that's what I was told in the text.
Does that include the elected official departments?
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
No, it does not.
So there's 3 elected departments we could do, if you want.
It's a list of letters.
The sheriff would be, the sheriff's request would be an elected office. Would there be a tie-in with the commissioners on the sheriff's request?
No, it's,
I wouldn't think
They're
so.
not one. Elected would be separate from the commissioners.
Okay. Do we want to discuss that then?
Sure.
Okay.
I would make a motion, we accept his request for the 2 people. And then, once it's seconded, if anybody wants to discuss.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second concerning the sheriff's office request for an additional merit deputy and for 2 additional merit, excuse me, 1 additional merit deputy and 1 additional merit sergeant. So up for discussion, we have a motion and a second.
I think it's a reasonable request because of our population growth and being next to Indianapolis, and just what I see every day is shocking and appalling, and we got to keep people safe.
Well, I will tell you, because I have a little bit more intimate knowledge, the merit sergeant position is specifically for investigations. That's the intent of it. And I can tell you that the investigations that are required are growing exponentially because there's a lot of computer and or electronic crime that's going on. And you might be shocked about how deep it really truly goes. And when you open that up, it is extremely intricate, the investigations that you have to do to get all the documentation in order to pursue charges and potentially recover some of the loss for the victims. So it is out of control, some of the things that are happening, whether it's they're stealing cargo from shippers or whether people are getting scammed as part of some kind of a cyber Dogecoins or Bitcoin, those kind of things it's out of control, but it's very, very involved and it requires a lot of deep investigation. So that's just my opinion on it.
In-
The other one is just.
In order to support the prosecutor in
Yes,
court.
the prosecution and honestly potentially recover losses from the victims. So
Oh, okay.
ultimately, that's really the goal to try and make them whole. In regards to property crime, I realize that's not necessarily happen with a personal crime or violent crime, but property crime to try and recover something for the victims. So,
I had $2,000 taken from my checking account through cyber, yeah. It's nuts.
I'm guessing
Nuts.
part of that position would be to coordinate efforts with other agencies, including the feds.
Yeah, they're already doing it. They have task forces in regard to that. A lot of the, you truly would probably be surprised how much cargo is stolen.
Oh.
And because of Indiana's proximity, and it truly is the crossroads.
coming through here.
Yeah, a lot of it happens here because there are transfer stations here.
Yeah.
So a lot of it happens at the transfer stations. It's not necessarily in Hendricks County, but oftentimes it comes through Hendricks County, so that becomes part of it. They may lose it here, or it leaves from here. So either way, it passes through here, so we're wrapped up in it one way or another. So.
I think it's shocking how valuable that can be. This is a bad example, but like a semi-load of cigarettes would be in the millions in past tense. We don't sell them like that anymore, but cargo's very valuable.
One of the warehouses down around 3970 is Apple. And it was $20+ million worth of Apple stuff was lost when that parcel was taken, or that trailer was taken.
In one trailer.
One trailer.
Wow.
So anyway, my point is that it's not getting any better. Our population is growing tremendously, and thieves are getting much more adept at taking things electronically, and we've got to keep after it, or we're just going to keep losing things. So.
Yeah.
Call for question.
The sheriff's request actually was for a merit detective sergeant, and I think to keep it easy for Ann to keep track of, we probably ought to specify that is a merit detective sergeant on. I mean, that work
Oh,
better,
just
Ann?
the title of it, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, just change the title.
Yeah, she's recording that.
Okay.
Further discussion?
If Nancy's fine with that, I'm fine with my
Yeah.
second on that. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. That passes 7-0 for the sheriff's office. Let's see.
Highway?
Well,
Yeah, that's
highway
not
is
elected.
under the commissioners.
The court number 10 was the request to bring the navigator from a 23 to a 26. And didn't we sort of suggest it should go that?
Yeah, that has to be sent back to
First
first person.
Yeah, I didn't know if there needed to be a motion to like do anything with that, or if we're just gonna tell it to send it to first person.
Perhaps a motion to approve subject to a grade level determination.
Actually, what probably needs to happen with that, with Catherine and the courts, is they probably need some more information to support that position. Because that sounds like a very unique, new position as she was responding yesterday. She might need to compile some more information to give to first person first before you just do a job title or job description and send it in, because I got a sneaking feeling with us all talking about a judicial center and the current courts and such and what she was saying, it sounds like it can be quite the circus sometimes at the courthouse. And this is unique, sounds like something needed, but sounds like there could be a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of responsibility, but at least a lot of knowledge this person has to have.
I think they got that message that they need
So-
to.
So we might
Just wanna
put
make
this
sure
on a
that-
temporary hold until we get more information.
Yeah, I think from, the job has expanded. It's not, the person doing that is doing more than what was originally described in the
Yeah.
job
More than what was
So,
Yeah.
initially.
I think needs a new job description.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
What's
think, but I
first
just think it needs
person's
to be,
name now?
Oh, it's not first person.
Well, what's first person's name now?
Oh, that's right. They moved all
It's a
that.
national,
Yeah.
NFB.
national first person.
Brian Brenner was the guy who owned.
So we'll
First
put that on.
So that's being tabled.
We'll
per se.
hold that, yeah. We could go to the surveyor's office.
Sounds like the workers there.
See, that also would be subject to a job description, would it not?
Yeah, that sounds
It's
like.
a brand new position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
And
And he hadn't sent that yet, so I'd say have him send that to first person too.
They got it to me yesterday and I sent it to first
They
person.
run,
Yeah,
she sends
so
them
just
right.
got sent,
I sent it
so,
this morning to Abby.
It's already sent out.
yeah.
So that needs to be tabled too, per
That
se.
needs to be on hold.
Or approve, do you want to approve it pending the score?
Well, I think we probably should wait till they score here.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what.
because you don't know what to come back, may come back with a grade that you don't like.
It does sound like with what the surveyor was saying yesterday, the surveyor's office is taking on some more responsibility here this year with the clean water or regional sewer thing, the clean water part. Is that right, Todd?
Yes.
For the clean water part. And then, and I totally understand, and we got two civil engineers here. I can totally understand why the Drainage Board and Commissioners is urging Dave Gaston to be a part of some of this conversations with the towns. I get that, and I think it's probably was needed some time ago, probably.
It sounded like he attended a lot of the meetings.
And that's just gonna be a lot of meetings to be going to, and as we all drive around in our communities, you just see continued annexation, and Danville's got a bunch of it, Plainfield's got a bunch, and so it's sort of a major issue.
How about auditor?
We are running really far over.
About the auditor, can we do the auditor one?
Oh, yes, we could.
The auditor one, you have, she was talking about 3 positions. The easy one, 10208. Is that,
The financial payroll deputy,
no, there's one of them that was easy. Oh, the
She's
she's
midpoint.
already at 28.
Bringing to
To bring
midpoint,
it to midpoint.
the
Yeah.
10218.
10218 is, I make a motion to approve that, moving up to midpoint.
We have a motion,
Second?
and we have a second to move position 10218, I believe it was.
Yeah.
To the midpoint. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Passes 7-0.
And then the other two, 10206 and 10214, those need to be sent to first person for review too, and see if that falls in line.
It's the middle.
The middle one? Okay, I was right. Okay.
No, I think it's about
was the bottom.
The bottom one?
Those are both requesting grade changes, right? Yeah. So if you're, anytime you're gonna get a grade change, that needs to be verified why.
So essentially, those two are tabled.
So this would need to be tabled and sent to first person.
And those job descriptions on those two that's being tabled, were they job descriptions under you or under Nancy?
We still use the ones under Nancy.
So nothing's been tweaked or changed with that?
They have been approved.
You know,
I think that,
Can we
that's
do
it.
probation?
Probation.
Were we gonna wait and find out what the commissioner said? I thought that's why we were pending on some of these.
They likely wouldn't have feedback on probation since it's elected offices.
I think there might be, need to have some discussion because he said they're already full at the office. So what's the plans for the future of the probation?
It's going into that building out in the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I hope it does too.
I mean, everything, I think the whole idea that is everything that's court related going there.
At
But-
the judicial center.
Yeah.
But the temporary time, Eric, with it being probation office is full, so.
They can
Well,
figure
you're
it
gonna
out.
have somebody work remotely,
Yeah, you saw the remote work, I went up in the office, so.
or whether you want air conditioning or not.
They really are out of space.
They were when they moved in.
The day it opened, they were. It was
Right.
poorly
It says
planned design.
4 people behind now, they're going to ask for one. And they have the workload.
I will move that we accept the probation request. Was it wasn't for 2 people?
Just one, just one probation officer. Second.
Do we have a motion to accept the one additional probation officer? And we have a second. Is there discussion? Yes, sir.
Todd, you worked in that department for a couple of years, didn't you?
I did. About 30.
Couple decades.
A couple
Is there
years.
any kind of statute of anything that comes back, caseload for
There
probation?
is.
All right, so when he said yesterday that they were running like 40 caseloads or something like that, 40 cases per,
About double what they should have.
so how long can that go before red flags start flying? Or do you know?
There's no oversight by the Indiana Supreme Court or what's now Office of Court Administration. It used to be the Indiana Judicial Center. So they won't put pressure on a local probation department to meet the workload standards, really. They'll leave that up to the judges and the courts internally to try to manage that. Like most workload measure systems, they're, in my opinion, they overestimate work. So you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt when if they say, we need twice the staff, depending upon how efficient your staff is, and it's not always the case, but generally, the more experienced they are, the more efficient they are, then they can handle more workload. And so they had the same workload standards, or the same workload measures were in effect when I was there. And we never had what the workload measures said that we were supposed to have. But honestly, in my opinion, we didn't need it. We were able to handle the workload, and I think it's a good reference point and to look at. But I do believe that it over-predicts the need.
So you're really saying there's no objective measure that can be used?
That's the objective measure that you have.
Oh.
And based on what they said yesterday, I believe they have the need for it. And I do believe that juvenile officers are hard to find and retain.
So usually it never comes into play until somebody who's supposed to be supervised cuts his band off and goes out and kills somebody, and they don't do anything about it in time. So that's when it comes into play. But
It
most of the
could.
time it doesn't, isn't mentioned.
And there is some subjectivity to it also, which it's not an exact science when you fill that out. The courts have a similar system, and and it shows the need for judges, and it's based upon so juvenile cases, for example, get a large amount of time. That's what they do, is they assign X amount of time to a certain type of case. And juvenile cases get a lot of time, and Judge Bowles is an example. He could do 10 cases in the amount of time allotted for one. And so, again, based upon how you run your court, or how you run your probation department, or how you manage your caseload, how good you are at the job, then that workload standard is just a reference to look at. National standards, he did mention national standards, they're even worse, because other states may require a lot of additional things that Indiana doesn't require. So you're best looking at in-state measures for workload, but I still believe they overpredict to some extent.
So Todd, based on your experience and knowledge on that, an additional one could be very reasonable.
Yes.
Whereas the need for 4 could be questionable.
I would question that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I just looked up on my phone there, seeing that we have 342 out of the jail right now. So if I'm not mistaken, I think that's sort of the entry point for your career, isn't it? Is when they get processed into
Yeah, some get.
goes to the concierge service at the registration desk.
The probation department gets some people after being incarcerated. They get some that never get incarcerated. They may not even be arrested on the original charge. They may be summoned into court, never see a day in jail, and then get placed on probation. But a lot of them either come to probation after they've been in jail, or even after they've been in prison. They'll come out and be on probation.
Call the question.
Move to approve the probation employee.
There's already a motion.
Yeah, we have a motion. Somebody just called for the
Okay,
question.
call for the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0.
And if you recall, while we're on this list, and it's before Nikki's time, I take a 10, Commissioner Dawes and Ginger were sitting there, and I believe he was okay for the new position in computer center and the sheriff. And I don't know that he touched on engineering, but for those two, they were, he said.
Okay, all right.
So then
thank
I don't know if they got a list of the others, or.
you. All right, thank you.
Make motion to approve the computer center one then? I made it.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the position in IT, and we have a second. Is there discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. Nikki, would you be ready to go?
I mean, I can be, if you guys,
Yeah, we're running ahead, I believe.
okay.
Thank you.
did create an org chart for you guys since our last, that was brought up at the last thing, so I put that together really quickly this morning. And the only other piece of information that I have for you is just the balance report, which is gonna show you the 2025 parcel count, AVs, broken out by district, and then the totals. And basically, all I gave you is the total page, because it's like 35 pages long. If you want individual districts, I'll be happy to give them to you. But if you guys just want to take one and pass them down, that way you've got that data. I know I typically put together a bunch of stuff, and I did not have time to do that before this hearing today, so. But those were the important pieces, I thought.
You got two, I think.
While you're passing out, I'll just kind of give you some additional few statistics in terms of appeals. In 2025, we had 1,589 appeals filed. And I'm very pleased to say that of those 15, almost 1,600 appeals, we have less than 300 left to work. So we have been working very hard at trying to get these things done. So
Nikki, what was that number again, please?
we had 1,589 appeals in 2025. We currently have 269 active, which means they still need to be worked. But I will tell you, 67 of those 269 are commercial properties, and they're all at IBTR. I have close to 100 appeals at IBTR right now in terms of parcel count, and there's probably about 40 entities that encompass almost 100 parcels for 25 and for 26. I just got some new ones this morning that came in for 26, so that's a constant going on.
The oldest you have is 25.
The oldest I have is 25. Yes, we've gotten through a lot of stuff. So in 2026, our numbers were down in terms of appeals, so I'm very thankful for that. We only had 981 appeals, and I'm going to say that some of that, I think, is due to just our office and our ability to explain stuff to taxpayers. I think it also was very helpful that we did those library sessions. That was a great turnout, I thought. We served about 100 people during those library sessions. We had that opportunity for people to come in and sit down with us one-on-one after hours and help us explain their assessment. Most people don't understand that it's market-driven, so, you kind of explain to them about, the sale price and what's going on in their neighborhood. So I'm gonna chalk it up. I'm gonna chalk the fewer appeals down to just us doing a better job of informing the public and doing what we're doing. So I'm very pleased with that. I just wanted to share that with you.
Anything else?
I don't really have anything specific. I mean, everything's pretty the same on my budget, other than if anything is going up, it has to do with just the cost of increase of services. The big thing that I want to point out is a couple of things. Currently, all of my staff have a type of certification, whether it's a level 1, a level 2, or a level 3. And those are all paid at different rates, and they can change throughout the year, and it has become complicated, I think, because as we move people, I don't know, I think Ann and Paula might be able to better explain, but what we've kind of talked about is making one lump sum for all of these certifications that they can just pull out of instead of making specific lines. Is that right, Ann? And that's just gonna be helpful for you guys, and I think it'll just be cleaner.
We've talked about this with the salary ordinance, that the certifications weren't appropriated, and it takes a long time, it takes months to get them to come back to council. And we were referring to what we did with the prosecutors, Nancy did with the prosecutors, was take all the state people and put them on one line, so that we're just drawing from that line the certification, and it's ready to go, it's appropriated. Once they get that next level, they can just automatically be paid for.
I think that's a good idea.
If that happens, so that's for if something, the certification changes during a calendar year,
Yes.
will the next, say fiscal year, where their salary then be adjusted permanently, or is that, because certifications could fall off, is that something that's done every year?
They
That'll
are
be
done
set.
as a supplemental, so it's not connected to their pay.
Okay. Thank you.
And yes, it can fall off if they don't keep up their education hours.
Okay.
That will never happen as long as I'm the boss.
Okay.
But-
Well,
but it-
sometimes
it
people get
does.
different responsibilities and maybe they don't need the
Yes.
certification.
No, this is
But-
something through the DLGF that we have to have. So I wanted to kind of show you that, and I added it all up, like what everyone was getting and what I was anticipating in the next year with people going to classes. And so it's about, what did I have on here? It's about $65,000 to pay all of those supplements, and that would cover everything. So it would, I think we're basically just taking it out of the individual supplemental lines and putting it into one fund.
And how you can identify that is, you look, you'll see the zeros. We talked about object codes yesterday. So each certification level has a different object code. So we're trying, and it really is kind of hairy in the middle of the year when somebody gets their certification 2. Now, all of the money was literally approved to put in object code for certification 1. Then we'd have to come back to council and say, now they got certification 2. Now we need to move this appropriation from here to here. So it was a lot of extra moving parts. And sometimes we got overlooking like, oh man, we got to get this taken care of. So it helps eliminate those object codes by having it in one line.
More questions, comments?
I'm still pondering.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I
Maybe-
don't, I think it's okay as long as,
Looking at your org chart, I'm trying to decide.
Oh, I forgot to put the lines on, you guys.
I
I
think
literally
it's
did that
time for
right before I came down. I'm so sorry.
All the residential analysis, do they report to the team leader?
Yes, they do. It's,
So
in
all
order
these
to get
people-
everything on that sheet the right way, I had to kind of maneuver, and I totally
That's
forgot to
right.
put my lines, so that really isn't gonna mean a whole lot to you. I can forward you guys corrected ones once I can get the lines on there.
The rest of them pretty much are self-explanatory. I don't worry about that.
Okay. There's one other thing that I just want to bring to your attention. I'm not going to ask for any additional right now, but there is some things that are coming legislatively that you need to be aware of, because I probably will be coming to you for additional. So there's been a lot of talk over the last couple years, and last year was a huge year for discussions regarding an AVM model, which is an automated valuation method model for assessing, which is I'm just dipping my toes in it and I'm learning about it. I do believe that it is going to be a really great thing for us. It's just going to take a little bit of time because the whole idea is a little different. Right now, we are cost-based. We are cost-based, and then we trend to sale prices. So what this new module will do is it will basically use our own data. So we would put in data for, I'm going to search for a home that was built in 1985 that has 2 bedrooms. I'm sorry, that's 2 stories, has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and is on an 1.5 acres. Basically, it's the same sort of system that Zillow, Redfin, all of those are using, except we're going to be looking at our data. So then the system will go through my entire database of 80,000 parcels and pull out every parcel that was built in, that has this much depreciation or this year, that is 2-story, this many bedrooms, this many, and it will bracket, and it will say, based on everything that's in your county and what things are selling for, this particular style home with these pieces should have a value between 350,000 and 410. And as long as our, our value, if it's in between there, then we're bracketed within that market. If it is outside of that, then we know we have problems. The biggest issue with this new method that's coming that is going to be, and I'm going to say that I'm not worried about this for our county because I feel like we have done a very good job over the many years. When Larry started and then I started after Larry, we have worked very hard at our accuracy because accuracy is what is going to be the important key for this new valuation method. Because if you don't have the right effective year and you don't have the right grade and you don't have the right details, then the program is going to be not being able to pull out what it needs. So I'm comfortable in that. I know that there are counties who are not going to be comfortable and their data is going to be a disaster, and I feel bad for them, but this is where we're headed. I think from an appeal standpoint, it's going to make things a lot easier for us to be able to go, hey, I can tell you every home in the county that is just like yours, and this is where it's at. With that comes a lot of other things that I don't have answers to yet, but this is the direction that we're going.
I'm assuming there are private vendors that have
So my
systems that
CAMA vendor, who is Exsoft, has already retrieved my entire county extract data months ago, and they have been working on building my model for months. My model will be done soon. We are trying to get ahead of the curve.
Is that based on a national or regional, is it the idea for this automated thing?
I think it's probably national. I mean, I think it probably is. I think it's spurring from taxpayers who are going, Zillow says my home should only be this, and my assessor is telling me that. Well, Zillow, it's a similar process, but ours will be based on our Hendricks County data and not others.
Zillow's national.
Right.
I have a question. Is that going to be statutorily required, probably?
I believe that it will eventually. The DLGF is supposed to be, they were supposed to be meeting this year, and I've been told that in October they're having their meeting on this. I don't know if, honestly, at this stage in the game, I can't imagine that they're going to be ready to roll it out, but they could, because that's how they operate. I mean, they could give us this as a change in the way that we do things in December and expect us to put it into play, because that's how they operate. So I'm trying to get ahead of it because I can, because my data is good, because I'm already working with my vendor on it. Of course, it's going to come with a cost. But I did reach out to him earlier this week just to get an estimate for you guys. And it's like 40 grand, 45, maybe 50, which in the whole scheme of things is not very much.
That's pretty reasonable for the whole picture.
Yeah.
That save a lot of headaches.
That wasn't the question. I have two
sorry.
questions. No, that's okay. To me, with this county in particular, and there's probably a handful of other ones, we're solidly high-priced urban and Amo and Stylesville. So are these rural going to end up higher because of massive population on the east sides? And
There will be a location. Location is part of the equation.
Yeah,
And the
okay.
location should solve that, or work on that.
And I don't have a specific answer, Nancy, because I really am just learning about it, and trust me, my brain has been spinning for about 4 days straight now since I kind of had a big, long discussion.
because that will be a problem if that's
Yeah,
what
it will
happens.
be. It will be, but I think that we can, I think it's a problem that we can take care of.
Yeah,
We
because-
would just limit probably those ones in terms of the model.
Yeah, because we've used location very much, so in our
Yes.
neighborhoods and that sort of thing.
Right.
So,
But it is going to be a completely different thought process because it's no longer going to be neighborhood driven. which is what we have always done and explained. I think I'm more concerned and worried about how I'm gonna explain it to my staff and everybody at this point. And then that's just because I don't understand it yet completely. But once I get the model and I can kind of start playing and we can kind of see, I don't know. I do think that it is coming one way or another. They're gonna want it because they just want it. So, I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna allow us to have less errors in our values as long as our data is correct, which that is what our focus has been for the last 8 years. So I feel pretty good about our data. And, you know, as we find things, we'll tweak them. And there are projects that we're gonna work on just to make sure that everything's level, but it's coming and it's gonna be big. And I just wanted you guys to be aware of that.
So is there a condition component? Because I can see you pulled all 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-story.
Oh, yes, there would be
So-
condition, yes. There's gonna be about 18 points that, 15 to 18 points that get looked at. Condition, age, grade, all the interior features, all of that. The only other thing, unless anybody has questions about anything on the only other thing I just kind of wanted to just have you thinking about right now, I do have several vacancies, and you will see that on my org chart. I have at least 3 right now, I think, full-time vacancies. Right now, I'm just gonna sit where I'm at because several things have happened. So in my personal property department, there has been a legislative change where the AV, where you had to file business personal property was 80,000, and now it went up to 2 million. So what that means is if you have 999,900 or almost 2 million, whatever, of business personal property, you do not have to file business personal property. You are exempt. Anybody under 2 million of assets. Well, that is taking our number of business personal property filings from around 6,000 to around 600. Okay, I currently had 3 people in that position. I don't need 3 people in that position. So I've already shuffled people around. I have a full-time person there, a part-time person there, and then there's a vacant full-time position that's sitting there. I have 2 vacant positions in my reassessment, and I think I have a vacant in my sales disclosure. So I feel like I'm going to be able to let a couple of these go, but I'm not comfortable yet doing that until I really know what this new AVM system is going to do, what my business person, what everything's going to look like. I need kind of a year of everybody where they're at to kind of get a feel for, okay, do I need additional people in reassessment right now, or do I need somebody else over in sales disclosure? So I would like to keep those active at least for until next budget season and give me a year to figure out if I need them. If I don't need them, guys, I'm giving them back. There's no sense in me having them, and I get that. But what I don't want to do is give them back, and then a year from now, I have to come back to you crying because now I need a new position, and then I have to wait until, all of that. So that would be my ask for you right now.
Unfortunately, we went that direction for this year. Like, if you don't
Yeah.
have it filled, it drops off, so.
No, I would think it would be good to keep it funded for 27 until you find out more. More questions, comments? Care to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Hold on, I think we've got a comment.
So Nikki, to that point, I just heard this morning, our governor made a change on the gas tax thing.
I heard that was coming.
And I heard the number was $500 million that gas tax has been saved. We have a $5.5 billion surplus to pull that from to go ahead and make counties whole. Now, how accurate that is, I have no idea.
Mhm.
But the point I'm trying to make with that is who knows if the governor continues to do this or the legislature does, that will draw down that surplus pretty quickly. Who knows if this personal property thing, to your point, you dropped off nearly 90% of all your filings. And who knows how long that's going to last.
Right.
It's all going away eventually.
It's all going away. And I question just how this is all going to work out, to your point a little bit, that I
Yeah.
would hate to sort of push the cart instead of pull the cart.
Right.
And maybe it's all going to work out just fine, but
Maybe it will.
there's going to be some huge adjustments here.
There
coming
is.
along.
It's, these next couple years are gonna be very difficult. And one thing I didn't mention, which doesn't really matter to you, Larry will understand this, but, also starting next year in '27, so they're going to add the AVM for residential properties, but then they are completely changing 100% the way that they value commercial properties. I have not seen how they're going to do that yet. They will probably give me that in December, and I'll have to scramble to try to come up with values for my commercial property, but the whole system is changing. So they just keep throwing changes at us, and we're just trying to keep doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, the cost tables through things for crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And there's a bill to get rid of property taxes.
Oh, yeah, there always is. That's
knows?
been going on for
But
years.
It's getting more steam.
It is getting
I
more
can't see it
steam.
happening, but
So with that, and based on these numbers here, you just said to us about commercial's nearly $2 billion of a almost $31 billion total assessed value. That's roughly 13-14%. That could have a tweak to it again. Okay.
Yeah,
Let alone what's going to happen with residential,
right.
with what you're talking about with this new model and so.
Right, and I think in some cases, assessments are gonna go down, because we probably, once we bracket them, and once we make sure that our grades are all the same, and we're looking at apples to apples, there's gonna be some that are gonna come down, and there's definitely gonna be some that are gonna go up. So, it's gonna be, just a balancing act, and I won't know anything until I start playing with that model.
From my aspect, with the last several years, how the residential has just skyrocketed in the market prices. Last year it started cooling off somewhat, and at this point in Hendricks County, it looks like it's cooling some more.
Yes.
And so because the demand has come down, people can't afford to even make an offer, and let alone complete the purchase. So it could cool down. We don't know how far that can go.
Right.
Because you always get these peaks, and then all of a sudden, things come back, and then whatever. So
And
that
it
could-
depends on the month that you're looking. I mean, and
Yeah.
April looks different than August
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
December, so, yeah.
You probably, as you learn more about this new model, I hope that assessors or the association will keep this in front of school boards as well.
Okay, that's
Because
a
that
very
might-
interesting
That might be
point.
something that they may like to be aware of too, of what that may be, how that affects them to the plus or to the. And I don't-
Okay.
And I don't know how that might have, anybody else have any comments about that? But
I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, I'm thinking of things constantly that, how are we gonna handle this situation? What's this gonna look like? So I hadn't even thought about the school board's aspect of it, so, okay.
especially in this county, when two of the largest schools is number one and number two are the most school debt in the state.
Really?
Avon and Brownsburg,
I did not realize that. They were the most school debt?
number one and number two.
In the entire state, they're number
Entire
1 and
state.
2.
Wow.
this is just a side note, I always find the state assessed utility numbers iffy. And at one time, as auditor, I requested a copy, and it was deemed confidential. But with all of our growth in internet, it just seems odd that it's this low. And it's also a self-assessment. They send it in to the state, and they call it state assessed.
And then the state does it. I mean, we don't really touch it, do we,
Right,
Nancy?
no.
I mean, we don't touch it, so.
Right, yeah, and,
It's all kept at the state.
yeah, it's.
I do believe, though, speaking to that, Nancy, I think that they now have to provide that information if it's requested, which they didn't before. It was
Yeah.
like this big secret.
Yeah.
But I think that they have to do that now. I feel like I
Like
heard
the
that.
Open door thing.
Yeah. So-
Well, when the people doing the work aren't allowed to see it, it's not right.
Oh,
So I
oh,
I
absolutely.
fought for that for a good while, and
Oh, yes.
when they said they could, and I forget what instance it was over, it's been maybe 6 or 7 years ago, but I'm like, I'd like to see that return.
Yeah. More comments, questions?
Make a motion to approve the assessor and repeatable of 2s and 3s.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for approval of the 2s and 3s for the assessor.
I did
and
have a question. With respect to the attorney fees, I note that with all the appeals you processed, you feel comfortable with the appropriation for attorney fees?
For right now, I do. I mean, that, you know, the thing about having this many appeals at IBTR is by the time I actually get to hearing, oftentimes we have settled. And so I don't, it's only if I have to go to hearing that my attorney fees really start stacking up, and additional fees, because I have to pay for the court reporter and all that. So, you know, if we can get to a good settlement that I'm comfortable with, that's the best case scenario for the most
Okay.
part. I'm comfortable with these numbers right now, just knowing that if something weird happens and I, you know, am finding myself where I need more money, I would like to be able to come to you guys and just ask for an additional, but I don't think I need any more right now on this.
I might add to that, Larry, that once it gets to IBTR, it starts costing the appellate money
Oh, that's all right, yeah,
for their appeal.
yeah.
And so quite often, they become more, perhaps I can say reasonable in
Mhm.
coming to a conclusion.
It's also a disincentive to take the appeal, yeah.
Yes, yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, okay,
Do
thank
you
you.
use a particular attorney, or is it just?
I have an attorney through my vendor, my commercial vendor, who hears all of my stuff. She attends our PETA hearings, and then she is my representative at IBTR.
Okay. We
Call
have a
the
motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, hearing none. Passes 7-0. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
Thanks for your explanations, too.
Yep, you bet.
And when you get a chance, the lines on your,
Yes, I will do that. Yeah, I thought about it, and then I just had to run out the door, so, okay, thanks.
well, I believe we are about on schedule.
Because it's almost increased 2 billion again this year.
And that will go down to, it's crazy. how much
The
we
next
have to assess.
hearing
say,
will
'cause
be
that's a
for
gross number.
the,
Yeah, it will go down to 16 million.
Okay, not half.
Crazy.
Eric, well, I am, I might as well.
yeah, okay. Well, we'll take a break now at this point. everyone. We will be back, we're back on.
Sorry.
Bill, thank you very much, you guys, for coming in early also. Thank you. Statements, comments before we get into comments from the council and questions?
Well, so we mainly we came today, sometimes we don't come if there's not a made change, but we did want to make you guys aware of some of the reductions that we've made and how we've moved some of the items. And as I mentioned, and came to the board meeting a few months ago and said that Purdue Extension is moving into a regional model. So we wanted to answer any questions you may have with that. I do want to introduce Laura Dodds, who is, as of like last week, during this regional process and transformation, I won't be county extension director after October 1st. I'm still housed in this county, but we'll just be serving as an ag and natural resource educator. But Laura is kind of like now, her title is regional operator leader, but she now serves kind of like a county extension director for 3 counties. She's representing Hendricks, Hancock, and Marion. Just wanted to introduce you guys to Laura.
Yeah, I believe 2, maybe 3 of our council members were at your introduction on that. But if you will, go ahead, sure.
You guys are stuck with me.
Well, we can.
You're stuck
Well,
with me for a while.
Well, we can.
But I do want to say, so I have been the county extension director in Marion County since 2020. So in that role, I was 100% county extension director. So I'm familiar with the role, I'm learning about Hendricks County. But so far, I've learned more and more about the Hendricks County Extension Office. And I just have to say, this is one of the best county extension offices. I mean, the staff work really hard. The county employees that are the support staff, amazing. They're amazing.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, so you should feel really proud. From what I'm seeing, Hendricks County is really an example of how it can look in extension and really make the best impact. So just wanted to say that.
Just want to point out too, something, Dave and Larry both attended and received each of our program area impact statements in a way. It's just a few of our highlights from the year. So if you get a chance to look at that, but like I said, that represents not just our ag and natural resource program, our 4-H, our health and human sciences, and our community development, where I have currently had a 20% role in doing that as well. So when you look at the budget, the major changes that we have, since we're going on to the regional model, Purdue has asked us to explain and adjust us accordingly based on the fact of you will see an increase of our contractual services of around a little over $18,000. But in that aspect, we are taking county extension educators. The mileage that we left on there is for some of our county staff when they have to go and help do programs and such as well. So you will see a major reduction there on mileage, a little over $5,000. And then in the past, you guys have provided the service agreements for our lease on our computers. And so Purdue will be utilizing that increase of contractual services to pay 3 educators' computers leases from here on out. So the only computer leases you guys will be covering out of your budget is for our county support staff. So that does still remain a little over $10,000 difference than what we've asked. We're not asking for a 2.5% or 5% increase of cost of living for that service agreement. But as we move into that regional model, we will be utilizing educators from other counties to come to have more expertise. We've always kind of done that, but we are going to extend that even further to where hopefully the individuals of the county will get a better experience and more expertise from the field across the state in utilizing that. So, but we do want to point out too, the chart that we utilize, and Laura can explain a little more about that if need be. In the past, like I said, that chart for over 20 plus years, probably actually longer than that, from the 80s, has not been updated as far as how Extension serves the community as far as the population is concerned. So usually the county would have a contractual service adjustment based on the population. So like over the last 20 years, Hendricks County has not had an increase in that based on that chart. But yet at the same time, as you guys know, over the last 15 years, the population of Hendricks County has doubled pretty much. And even in the last 6 years, Laura noticed that basically there's been pretty much a 20,000 increase of population in Hendricks County. So we haven't really had an increase on there, and that's how it's kind of been adjusted. That is kind of our stance on that as well. So if you have any other questions, though, about the budget, feel free to ask, and maybe Laura can fill you in a little more of how we're going to utilize those funds.
Questions, comments from the council? Wow, the silence here, the quiet is deafening.
But as usual, we always continue to try to utilize the funds you provide us. We appreciate that. We also appreciate the fact, even though it's really not tied to extension in our budget, we do realize that you guys are putting a very large expense in the future as far as expansion out the fairgrounds, which I definitely feel 100% that will impact the community on many aspects. So we appreciate that too. But yeah, just as like the cost of living and trying to utilize as much as our staff across the state to provide impact to all the communities, we've had to adjust because I think I've mentioned before, we have not, over the last 20 years, have not got an increase from federal or state funding. We still get funding, but we have not got an increase from them over the last 20 years either. So we're having to look at different ways of making things work across the state.
Mr. President, I move the approval of the 2s and 3s.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the 2s and 3s, and I believe we have a second.
Second.
From Mr. Parsons. Further discussion, or any discussion in this case? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. Thank you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If you have any questions, though, feel free to contact us, or we do want to invite you all. We'll get an invite soon. We'd really be happy if all of you could attend our annual meeting in October. Come get a free meal, and then find more about what we do in Extension. We'll appreciate it. But thank you guys for your time and all you do.
Do you know the date of that?
October. Do you have it handy?
If you don't have it handy, I can.
Yeah, it's like October, the end of October sometime, I think. But I will email you.
Did you say the end? Near the
End of
end?
October, yes.
This is a Saturday.
It's not on a Saturday. Yeah, it's like,
weekend.
it's like a Tuesday night, I
Yeah,
think, or something.
to the week.
Halloween.
I used to go
Maybe
every,
the 27th.
I went every year for years.
Let's
Good
see.
food.
27th is a
Homemakers
Tuesday.
did the food.
Oh, well, then,
Yeah.
But yeah,
We
you all
did
get
pass a
it.
3% COLA.
Did you? Okay, great. Thank you very much for that as well.
Yeah, I attended that dinner the last couple of years, and maybe on vacation this year about that time, because it's
Yeah, we always try to make get you as much information at that meeting as possible, and allow you to ask questions from our people that are actually being impacted in our community by Extension. So, Jeff, who was the former director of Extension? So we had Jason Henderson prior to that. That's the guy right Yeah. there. Jason Henderson came from the Federal Reserve. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Very smart, intelligent Very guy. big. He's at Iowa. He basically went back to where his family. Back to his farmed. roots. Okay. And plus, both his twin daughters play softball at Iowa State, so I think that was Okay. a lot to do with it too. Very smart guy. So, yeah.
nice guy, too.
But
Pleasure to work with.
yeah, I'm not sure if we mentioned that one of our meetings, but Angie Abbott has been serving as interim extension director for the last 3 years at Purdue, and she's just now been appointed by Bernie Inglis full-time director of extension. So if you have questions, she will, answer any of your emails that you got the call to for as well. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Eric, is the 911 guys coming in?
Whenever some time, I think.
I didn't see they had anything in the.
They're bringing it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that.
any major stuff with them that you're aware of?
Asking for 4 employees.
4 employees.
town.
They still have a lot of challenges filling that 911 center.
They're keeping them, it's more, they're about full capacity now, but it's just
More calls.
more, yes.
Can't imagine.
Is space an issue yet?
I don't think so.
We're okay to go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Renee's.
Renee's coming.
Okay, then I just, I forget his name, the guy.
Jared?
Jerry
Yeah,
McKee.
they're out there right now.
Oh, they can, okay, they can come in.
Yeah, I would like to include.
And then, yeah, and then it's coming early as well. From recycling.
Recycle.
After this meeting, set up for
He opted this, he's gonna hand out handouts.
Good.
Here's some more stuff.
Good for you, isn't it?
Remember where they're at, so I can punch holes in them. I can look at it.
There's something underneath the folder.
See, I used your help.
We'll shut that off for you.
I'm not saying anything bad.
Can you help me?
Tell me where you're going.
Our next,
We're still on audio here.
yeah, our next hearing will be for the Hendricks County Communications Director.
Renee's on her way.
Just do that.
Yeah, it's off. Hey, Paula, I wonder if we ought to go up there and wipe off those 2682s, just so it doesn't become
Stain.
great job.
It's not chocolate cake.
Because you can see sometimes that leaves like a residual.
It does leave a residual.
So,
30 years old.
yeah.
That's
So what do you
unbelievable.
call that? Is that a whiteboard?
That's a whiteboard, yeah.
What would you have called it back in your day?
Chalkboard.
It's a slate. It was
Slate, yeah. It's just a slate.
That's hilarious, but
What else do you call it, a grease board?
We use a grease pen, you could use a grease pencil on that.
And then,
what would have been on the preschool?
no, I did not. Good morning.
Yeah, see over here.
You're early.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
I just ordered some grease pencils. Take marks and like.
You did.
No. Well, did you say it was just, they're not here?
Renee's on her way. The other two guys are here.
Oh, but she's not here. She's not physically here.
Not just, she's on her way. She'll be here next 2 minutes. They didn't want to be on her.
And they don't know how long.
You said she's on her way.
Depends if there's
Well.
construction, this is yes.
Then, okay.
Would you be ready?
I can be ready. Dan Bridget is supposed to show up. I asked him to be here at 10:45 as well.
Oh, so you're, okay,
Yeah.
so there's two of you then.
Yeah, he's gonna be-
Okay, we'll just pause and wait
Okay.
until our next hearing, so we'll pause. So we'll cut the audio. Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, yes, absolutely.
If you'd like to make comments, statements, whatever, before the council starts asking questions or comments, you're certainly welcome to.
So I will just set my request out first. It's the main request that I have. It is 4 additional people with an AI option for the call volume that we have and for non-emergent call handling. So that's the increase in the budget that you'll see. The increase initially is for 7 but my alternative option, which is I think more fiscally responsible, is 4 in the AI. And then we'll revisit it in a year and see if the AI did account for the 3 additional that I'm looking for, just so we can get those calls answered. So my budget reflects the larger portion that I can scale back to a smaller portion.
So you say AI, are we talking about the real AI, or is this another acronym in the 911 system?
No, it is quite literally AI, artificial intelligence, yes.
Okay, all
That's a
right.
great question. So the first packet that I gave you guys is the overall budget. And it's broken down into the subcategories within the budget. And then the additional packets that I gave you is the line-by-line item of those subcategories. So it is the personal services, the supplies, the other services and charges, and then the capital outlay. And you can see on the side, I also have the 2026 to 2027 comparison. And the differential, or the difference that it would be. And broken down a little bit more to the above guidelines for the supplies and the contractual services and the capital outlays. If you would have any questions there. And then this last piece of paper that I provided with the blue is actually this is a nationwide tool that 911 centers use for determining how much staff we need. And the tool that I use, plugging in all of the information, says, or the guideline is to request 8 more. There are some things that we do differently in our center that other centers do nationwide, and I thought fiscally 7 would be an adequate ask, even though the tool does say 8. And then, like I said, the other option that I had was the 4 and then the AI.
And I wasn't able to make the meeting yesterday. Denny was there, and I talked to him this morning, and he said that, well, they didn't have a quorum for the meeting to actually approve it, that they all were in favor of the 4 and the AI. The meeting would recommend that to this board for approval.
I think it's important just to clarify that the AI is, because the problem that we're having is just non-emergency call, right? People not calling 911, but it's all the robocalls and all of the people, of just wanting information. And that is what the AI takes care of, if it's a robocall, it can say, we understand this, and move that off. If somebody calls and says, I'm hurt, this is an emergency, it's automatically gonna roll over. All the 911 calls would be answered by a person. So just trying to, how do we solve the problem without people of all of these? We all have it, our phone continues to ring. I called myself the other day, apparently. And
What'd you call yourself?
Right, I know. And I answered, hey, Jared's calling me. It wasn't me, it was some robocall that was just duplicating my number, and so we're just trying to solve that problem.
So the AI would only be answering normal landlines?
Non-emergent lines, correct.
Okay.
So
And in
filters.
addition, after hours, we answer for everyone in the county. So anyone who shuts their phone down and they have it redirected to us. Water department, the police departments, everybody. And so it would handle those calls too, all those overflow of, then we would have answers for them, right? We would tell AI, if they're calling for this solution, give them this phone number. So that it can learn what we'd like. We initially give it information, and then we could calibrate it as it goes to make sure that it's giving the right information. And if they actually need us, there are trigger words that say, live person or whatever, and so then it would ring to us if they didn't want to stay on the AI. We can also choose to only put it on a specific number of lines or all of the non-emergent lines. And yes, it would be non-emergent only. I do not ever want anyone to call 911 and get somebody that's not live. That is not my goal ever.
The AI sounds like a filter to me, that it's trying to filter out any of the non-emergency things.
What source is your AI, the provider?
So Aurelian right now and Prepared. Axon is the main head over that. There is a Motorola solution, however, I'm leaning more towards the Axon solution, just based on what they have. But there are other smaller companies that also provide it. We don't have to go with the big names, but that's kind of the discovery phase. I did get a couple of quotes for it. It's basically around $84,000, and that would be yearly, so that we could keep the service agreement and everything up. But there are different companies that are providing these sort of things. And I also know other counties that are using them that I can go and say, hey, let me see what this looks like, how clunky was it, so I can get the, iron out everything before we get it started so I can learn from their mistakes. And also talk to their floor staff and say, did this really work? Is it really designed to do this? Like, get on the boots on the ground, real information for it. So.
I'm sorry, I missed how much did you say?
84,000. It is in the contractual
line.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's a reoccurring cost, so it's not like an initial outlay to just purchase the software initially?
Initial outlay to purchase the software, and I'm going to say 84 as a status because I don't have the individual quotes.
Okay.
What I was doing is a research for it to get into it, but once I get into it, and also those things are negotiable with all the different, agencies. So.
Okay. What's your, can you tell me what your call volume increase has been since, let's say, for the last 4 years or so? Do you have that by chance?
I have
Even a percentage is fine.
I have about 20,000, which is about a 10% increase.
From last year or year to year?
From the course of 5 years.
Okay.
And it is only from last year to this year was the biggest of those increases because of the robocalling and all of that. We are getting a lot more.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just a little hopeful for me, and I can't speak for the rest of the council members, but your budget that you've proposed here, if you could put the extra column on the side of comparing 27 to 26.
It's
one
of the.
Oh,
It's in the break, this is just the
Right there,
main.
just turn the page.
Yeah, this is the breakdown.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
But
no
I was looking
problem.
at this first page and I seen that you have a $28,000 difference, but I can't see where it's at.
Yeah,
on these
absolutely.
first columns. And
Did we ever order that mobile command vehicle? Or is that something we're?
We don't have a vehicle per se, no. We do have some dispatch in a box, but we would have to set it up as we go each time.
Because I know we talked about that last year, didn't we?
I would really like to get one where we can like ride off in the sunset with that vehicle. That's a price tag of about $250,000. So, I mean, absolutely, it's in my mind and moving forward, but that's where we're talking, so.
And then I know there was a lot of hullabaloo about changing the delays on broadcasting dispatch out on social media, and people upset by that. Have you heard any feedback from the police officers and the public safety people out in the field about how has it helped anything?
We have not implemented it yet. So there's a lot of hubbub
Okay.
about it, but nothing,
Nothing's
literally
changed.
nothing has changed.
Okay.
So they're getting upset about something that isn't a thing. It's gonna take me a couple of months to actually implement it. We have to change every radio and every pager in the county. That's gonna take me a couple of more months. So, yes, there's people that are upset, but I haven't changed a thing.
On the command vehicle, I think what we had talked about that is the best option for the county would be having the sheriff replace their command vehicle whenever they're ready, and then
Right.
having their portion in the back.
Right.
And they would just be, if the center went down, then the priority is, it becomes HC 911's, right?
Right.
If their center crashes and they're out at the fair, I'm sorry, but
Right.
it's got to go to dispatch right now. But otherwise, it would be theirs.
Okay.
majority of the time.
And we would house it within range of us that we
Right.
would walk out to. So if also the sheriff's department needed it, they'd have to come and get it from there and take it out. Because that's part of the delay. I didn't want to have to go and retrieve it and bring it back.
More comments, questions?
I'd make a motion to approve the 4 employees and the AI and the budget as presented.
We have a motion to approve,
Second.
and we have a second. Discussion, further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The intern got off very easy.
But he had to do all the data in the background on the tools.
Oh,
That is
He
true.
didn't get off easier
Oh, good.
earlier.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Put this on there. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Sure, absolutely. Our next hearing is with the Hendricks County Recycling Center.
Good morning, I think. Plenty of these to go around. Doug, you want one? Sure. Might be. Thank you. Thanks, sir. All right, good. Fine.
Lynn, do you have any introduction or comments or whatever before the council starts asking?
Sure, if you don't mind, I've actually kind of put together the presentation that I handed out here, and part of it is, we don't see each other that often, so I wanted to kind of be sure that that you all kind of understand who we are and what we do. So, but I also recognize that we're the last before you are, or at least last class before summer vacation, and you all have been working hard these last 3 days, so as a longtime taxpayer in Hendricks County, thank you for all you've done. But my name's Len Detweiler. I'm the executive director for the Hendricks County Recycling District. I've been at it about 21 years now. With me today is Dan Bridget. Dan is with the town of Plainfield, the representative from the town of Plainfield on our board. Longtime supporter, board member, past president, and has a good grasp on our programs and what we're trying to accomplish and what we're here to talk about today. So at your recent joint meeting with the commissioners where you all discussed capital projects coming up, one of the items on that list was a recycling district facility. And I don't know that there was a lot more information provided, but I know that was part of the...
There was not, but we had recognized that that should be in the capital improvements program.
Excellent.
So, to be considered.
So at the suggestion of Mrs. Marsh and Mr. Wicker, I'm here today to kind of fill you all in, give you a little bit more information about what we're proposing, and then ultimately ask for your support of of that project. So, I'm going to try to stay pretty succinct in my presentation, and I'm going to leave time for questions because certainly that's important. But if you have them as I go through, please interrupt. And here's what we're going to cover. I want to be sure that you all understand what the recycling district is, what we are, what we do, and then answer the question of what's next for our organization and our vision for how we can accomplish that. And again, ultimately ask for your support and try to answer any questions you all have. So again, quickly, I want to set the table, and I don't want to assume that you all know what the recycling district is, but we are considered a special district by the state of Indiana. Solid waste management districts were established in the 90s. Hendricks County started out as part of a multi-county district with West Central, and then pulled out of that arrangement in 2006, became our own entity. Our mission is to promote waste reduction, recycling, reuse, and help our residents manage the waste that they produce. That can be everything from typical household trash to chemicals, bulbs, batteries, tires, electronics, appliances, those kinds of things. So we think of ourselves as kind of a small but mighty staff-wise. There's 2 of us in the administrative end of things that are full-time, 1 part-timer, and then we have 8 recycling center attendants. 4 of those are year-round and 4 are seasonal. So we are governed by a board of directors, 9 members that are all locally elected. All 3 county commissioners sit on that board, 2 representatives from your body, Mrs. Marsh and Mr. Parsons, and then 1 representative each from the 4 largest towns in Hendricks County. That's where Mr. Bridget comes in. We do not have a tax levy of any sort. 93% of our income, of our revenue, is generated from a tipping fee that's assessed at the Twin Ridges landfill here in Danville. And that amount is currently set at $1.40 per ton. That was a process that the board moved through in the last couple of years, increasing that from $1 per ton. Annually, our budget is around $1 million. And what do we accomplish with that $1 million? Environmental education is a big component of what we do and our focus. We have an outreach coordinator and an office and education coordinator that last year presented or provided programs for over 15,000 Hendricks County students. So that's, again, a cornerstone of what we do. And then the other thing that we pride ourselves on is really connecting Hendricks County residents and homeowners with answers to their disposal conundrums. We're always answering the phone, and many times the other person on the other end is, what do I do with ... mattress or television or construction debris, those kinds of things. A lot of times, well, some of the time, the answer is one of our programs, which we'll hit on here quickly. But a lot of the time, it's explaining to them, you can take that directly to the landfill, the transfer station, or you might be able to take that to Habitat for Humanity, Restore for reuse, those kinds of things. So connecting residents with answers is a big piece of what we do. Program-wise, we do Toxaway Days 5 times a year, and we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about those in a minute. But then we also have 2 yard waste recycling centers, one in Brownsburg, one in Plainfield, and 3 recycling drop-off centers, one of which is staffed up in Liston. Some of our other programs include Community Grants Program, Unwanted Medicine Drop Boxes, Safe Sharps Disposal, and those kinds of things. So the question that the board answered last year through a strategic plan, and Mr. Bridget was part of that committee and helped us navigate that, was what is next for our organization. And the top priority for us, as we stepped through that, was establishing a permanent home for the recycling district. Since I became executive director in 2006, we have rented space at 3 different locations throughout the county, and we believe that establishing a permanent home for ourselves will help raise our profile in the community and enable us to do more of that environmental education, if we can get some meeting space where we can host some workshops, help leverage some partnerships. But the other big piece of this is establishing a permanent household hazardous waste facility. So, we'll talk about that. And a permanent household hazardous waste facility would mean we would no longer do those 5 Tox Away Day events every year. We would have a location open year-round where residents could bring their material to us. And it would be a significant change in how we're serving the public. So I want to give you the kind of an overview of what we currently accomplish with our Tox Away Days and why it is important. I think it's slide 7 starts with Tox Away Day overview at the top. So that's where I am, and it shows a list of chemicals that you're probably pretty familiar with, the types of chemicals. So these are the kinds of things that we capture at Tox Away Days. And it's all common stuff you can buy at big box stores or hardware stores. But when you have half of a jug left, you shouldn't throw it in the trash. So you shouldn't dump it down the drain or on the fence row. So where should it go? That's what Tox Away Days are for. And trash haulers, your trash hauler doesn't want this in your typical trash either. That can cause lots of problems. So when we talk about Tox Away Day, chemicals are a big one, but there's more that we do. And on the next slide, we show, propane tanks, batteries, medicines, sharps. Those are some of the other things that we accept, as well as what we consider problem wastes, tires, electronics, appliances. So, and I'll double click on the batteries right now. If you're not familiar, lithium-ion batteries are a significant issue from our first responders, causing a lot of fires in trash trucks, recycling centers. If you watch the news a little bit, or you do a Google search for lithium-ion battery fire, you'll kind of understand, because they're all over. They're prevalent, but when they begin to pillow and disintegrate, if they're damaged, defective, there's a lot of power in those batteries, and it has the attention of a lot of first responders, trash haulers, recyclers, and programs like ours. So,
having mentioned those batteries, I'm
Yes, sir.
looking at the proposal for a permanent facility, and unfortunately, first thing that came to my mind, you get those batteries in a permanent facility.
Right.
How do you protect the facility from the fire hazard?
It's a great question. There are a number of steps that you take. There are certain containers that you purchase, that a program would purchase for what are called DDR, defective, damaged, or recalled batteries. So there are programs for managing them properly. A lot of it has to do with ensuring that terminals are taped so they're not rubbing against each other in shipping containers. But it is an issue that permanent household hazardous waste facilities across the state and country deal with on a daily basis. Batteries we get lots of batteries, and it is one that requires attention. But getting those batteries to a facility that knows how to handle them, as opposed to, a handful of hearing aid batteries in the drawer at the house.
And there are storage containers specifically made to store those. But there's a lot of prep work before it goes there. But if you follow the guidelines, really, it's a very safe environment.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. So then why would we move away from Toxaway days? There's a number of reasons, and they're kind of listed there on that next slide. But dealing with these materials is expensive, but dealing with them through the Toxaway Day model is more expensive because of the way those contracts are arranged. Some of the other challenges that we face is our residents are having to wait in long lines. We have done our best to try to kind of keep the demand even across the 5 events, but some events are just busier than others. One thing is residents have a lot of confusion when it comes to heavy trash days versus Toxaway days. So the town of Plainfield does a couple of heavy trash days every year. They take very different things at heavy trash than we take at Toxaway Day, but the model is similar. So people inevitably show up at heavy trash days with stuff that should come to Toxaway Day and vice versa, and nobody's happy when that happens. So scheduling has become more difficult. We hold these events in school parking lots, 2 of them at the fairgrounds, 1 of them at Hummel Park, but it has just become increasingly more difficult to schedule those venues as you start to work around school breaks, holidays. Our fairgrounds gets busier and busier every year, and the weather is always can't plan for that, so that can have an impact.
I've been involved with the district for 10 years, and I would think people would run out of stuff. They don't.
They do not.
There's more now than in the beginning.
And one of the biggest struggles that we have, and places where we think we can do the most improvement, is with that Toxaway Day model. Person shows up and there's 40 cars behind them, and they brought something that didn't need to come to Toxaway Day, but they're there, and so we're going to get them through. And so we send them on through. There's just not time for good face-to-face education about, hey, did you realize that all these alkaline batteries are safe to go in the landfill now? Or you could take your CFL bulbs to Lowe's and drop them off there. There's just not enough time to educate well. So, and frankly, we are maxing out that single-day event model, and the next slide really kind of illustrates that well. In 2005, the district held 2 Toxaway days, moved to 4 Toxaway days from 2006 to 2013, and then since 2014, we've been holding 5 every year. But you'll see on that chart the plateau of participation since 2015. Hendricks County population has grown by 20% since 2015, and Toxaway days have stayed flat at around 4,100 users every year. So, what's our vision? Well, a building that would serve as the recycling district administrative office, but also a household hazardous waste facility. This is an approach that many other communities our size have used for years. There's also more that are coming on more recently. Johnson County recently opened a permanent facility. Hamilton County has had a robust facility for years. Monroe County, permanent facility. Boone County is looking at it. Shelby County recently opened a new one, and the directors of those programs I see regularly. And they have been a wealth of knowledge about this and other things. What we're proposing is a building that's a little under 12,000 square feet, 4,300 for administrative space, and then household hazardous waste and recycling about 7,500 square feet. Our proposal is to locate it south of the new highway department on County Road 300 East. And we have stepped through a schematic design process, and the budget estimate after doing that is around $5 million to construct the building. In the packet, there are a couple of the initial renderings. If you want to see the bigger ones, I can send those around. I only have a couple, I apologize. As we were developing the schematic design, we really focused on traffic flow and how the traffic and material would really flow through the facility. And I'm happy to dig into more of why we designed it the way we designed it. On the next page, the floor plan, we've got a meeting room set aside up at the top of the image is north. So on the north end of the building, a meeting room that could accommodate around 30 folks, administrative space for 4 employees, but we also designed it to where we could add some more staff if that was the case, either by repurposing some storage space or potentially adding on to the west side of the administrative wing. And we've intentionally left the warehouse space pretty flexible, but folks would drop off material under the canopy on the east side of the building, and then the south side of the building is some depressed truck docks where once material is segregated and ready to ship out, it could go right on the trucks. Certain materials would require storage outside of the building. So there's a couple of small rectangles outside of the building. Those are called, we'd have at least one hazardous storage building. They're portable, and they have their own fire suppression, own spill containment, but flammables and likely fertilizers, those kinds of things would be stored in that building, not in the actual warehouse. So. The next sheet is kind of a preliminary elevation view, and the exterior design is done to complement the highway department buildings that are under construction right now. So our vision is that this would be a partnership between the recycling district and the county. The commissioners have expressed their support for that sort of an arrangement. The county already owns that property, and we have kind of earmarked about 5 acres for this. The county would own the building. The recycling district would occupy it and run our operations out of it. The recycling district would cover the design costs. That was decided at our most recent recycling district board meeting at the end of July, and would contribute about $1 million toward the construction of the building, and then share in the cost of ongoing maintenance of the building and property. And we're working out the lease details of what that would look like with the commissioners, but I believe everybody's kind of the same mind. We just need to get it in a document that everybody can agree upon. So our request from the county council is that the county would provide the other $4 million toward construction of the building. And one thing that has been expressed as being important is, okay, well, what if down the road this building is no longer used for the recycling district? Well, it has been designed in a fashion that it could continue to be an asset for the county if the recycling district was no longer in existence or moved someplace else. But timeline, we believe we could have the design done and bidding ready for January of 27, with construction to begin in the spring of 2027, and then we'd like to be able to be in it and construction complete by May of 2028. Based on input from architect and others, it seems like that is a possibility if we can keep the ball rolling. So, and I'll finish by just kind of sharing what we believe we can ultimately accomplish with the project and the partnership, and we really think we can serve our residents better, both from an environmental education standpoint, again connecting them with more and better information, face-to-face education, but also do a better job of capturing that household hazardous waste, keeping that stuff out of the landfill, out of our soil and air and water. So I appreciate your time and attention, and I'm happy to try to answer any questions you all have.
I want to make a comment, going back to your Toxaway days.
Yes, sir.
Which I've always been in along lines.
I imagine you have.
The thing that has totally surprised me, you pull up and it's a long line, but they've always been very quick about getting you through that line. And I've witnessed where people have brought the wrong stuff, and they need to be out of the line fast.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm glad that has been your experience. I will tell you, what we have no control over is sometimes that car is an elderly lady that brings us her Ziploc bag with 2 alkaline batteries and a CFL bulb. Those are quick, right? Yeah. But it can also be the couple whose parents have passed away or moved to the retirement home, and they're cleaning out the farm, and the shed hasn't been touched for 40 years. And so it is a truck and trailer of jugs and tubs and tubes and tanks.
Yeah.
You get behind a couple of those and things slow down in a hurry.
I've been so far very fortunate not
Okay,
to be
good.
behind one of those. So.
But again, that's one of the things we want people to come, and that's good, but it's difficult to control.
On your proposal for the permanent facility.
Yes, sir.
Have you considered the potential for the location where our current highway garage is?
That has been brought up, and I will say from my perspective, I believe we can make it work wherever the location goes. Feedback that I have heard in opposition to putting it where the old location or where the current highway department is that parcel of land may have a higher and better use than for our facility. So that is not a decision that obviously.
The reason I bring that up is that the potential location for access is not quite so far south for the rest of the county. So I just.
True, yeah. I will say, the 300 East is closer to the population center.
Yeah.
So I think that argument could go either way, but again.
No question about that.
Yeah.
I, of course, haven't studied that, but just first thoughts.
Yep.
Traffic would be better out there. Traffic flow would be a lot easier, probably.
In the town?
No, outside.
Outside. The one of the other things that I went and walked the current highway department property a week and a half ago. So after Mr. Wyeth and I had a conversation, and I and met the new superintendent, and he actually, at his previous position in Brown County, they were co-located with the recycling district in Brown County, and so we talked about some partnerships that they had down there, and if we are located next to the highway department, there's probably some partnerships that might be a little bit easier to achieve. They go out and find a television dumped in the ditch, which happens daily, I'm sure. I frankly don't know what the highway department is currently doing with those, but they could bring it to us and we'll throw it in with all the other TVs, that kind of a thing.
Would I be correct in assuming that the proposed design does contemplate possible expansion to the west?
Correct, yes. We don't believe that would be necessary initially,
Right.
but I've looked at, I really went and studied Hamilton County, Johnson County, and Shelby County's facilities, and there's pros and cons to all of them. But one of the things that came out of that and a conference that I attended was the idea of keeping traffic outside of the building under a canopy. Some of the facilities drive people right through the building, which there's some advantage to that, but the disadvantage is you eat up that many square feet bringing them through the building.
I
So,
would think that the disadvantages are more than the advantages.
I agree.
The one that occurred to me was you don't know what's in the load and it's already inside.
Exactly.
The canopy model works really, Lynn's done a good job of distilling, learning from what other people have done and distilled it down to this. This is an incredibly flexible design.
The lithium battery or this, you're talking about 5-gallon bucket of ammonium nitrate, you'll find out what it's about.
I'm sorry, how do we?
Those lithium batteries,
Right.
and a bucket of ammonium nitrate, and you'll find out real quick what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, yes. So, and I guess to speak on how we would plan to operate the household hazardous waste part of it, at least starting out, we would likely hire a contractor to come staff it on the days and times that it's open. And our intent is not to have it open Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, but maybe a couple days, Tuesday, every Thursday, and every other Saturday or something like that.
Have a routine like that.
That's right. That way we can help control our costs because these contractors that come that are HAZWOPER certified, DOT certified, and know what they're doing with this material, they don't come cheap. And we may evolve into a situation where we have some district employees trained and we move to that down the road. But getting started, we will contract out that household hazardous waste, the dangerous stuff. We could have some district employees dealing with electronics, appliances, propane tanks, some of those things. But when we're talking about buckets of who knows what,
So Lynn, do you have an idea what your operating costs will be under this new plan, looking into the future of the next couple of years? And I'm assuming, you said you're trying to work this out with the commissioners a little bit in your board of directors. Do you see coming to us in 3 or 4 years and with some kind of a budget of asking for some funding of some sort?
Good question. My answer today is no. Right now, we spend about $200,000 every year on our Talks Away Day events. Each event costs us between $30,000 to $40,000, and there's a lot of advertising that's required because the dates move and people need to know where it's coming or when the days are. So I believe initially we should be able to operate it at around $200,000 a year. It's going to look very differently, but I believe we can do that. Yes. So to answer your question, I don't anticipate that we'll be coming back to the council to ask for more money. A lever that the recycling district board can pull is that $1.40 per ton tipping fee rate. The recycling district board can raise that. State statute allows it to go up to $2.50 a ton. Well, that comes with
And currently,
downside.
we're probably the lowest tipping fee in the state or close.
It's
Imagine that.
It's Hendricks County.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Well, it's probably because we have our own.
That's right. We have, you look at it however you want. Nobody necessarily wants a landfill in their community, but we are fortunate to have one that's well run, and it does pay for the recycling district and our programs. So
Another benefit is a landfill obviously is a declining, non-renewable. Nobody wants to open a new landfill. And we do have opportunities to maybe expand the one that we have, but still, it's a limited resource, and it's a declining resource. The more we teach our people to keep things out of it, the longer it's going to last for us.
Hey, Lynn, just something I noticed, that heavy rain that we had here recently, there was a lot of gutters that were overflowed. The way this design here for that building tilted this way, you've had any access onto this other roof.
yes, you are
So I
correct.
would recommend that being tilted to the west.
Well, and that's a good point, and when I first saw that rendering, that was one of my first questions to the architect. And I said, I'm concerned about runoff from both that and the canopy. And he came right back and said, yes, we've talked about that in-house as well. They believe that it can be managed effectively. The reason it is the roof is high on the south end is that's where the loading docks are. So, but
Yeah,
your point is.
I agree with the high end, but I don't agree with that tilt. I think that tilt to the west and not be jumping on the other road.
Okay.
Larry, did we actually approve this budget, or is it just something that's here for us to?
We don't.
I don't think there's a budget here.
Yeah.
I think you're just
It's
bringing.
just information.
I think you're bringing us information to saying, I'm gonna need $4 million.
I'll let you guys figure out how you want to handle that.
And I don't see no plastic cups sitting in front of you.
State statute does allow a tax rate for solid waste, which I think we have never wanted to do, and I don't want to do it now either. And also, income tax, solid waste is included in that statute also. So, but that won't shake out until 2 years from now, so that might be too late to.
Thank goodness in our model and having our own waste, our landfill, we're not in that position. That's right.
That's right.
So should the council take this under consideration then, or?
I know the commissioner, Chuck and I sit on the board, the commissioners support the county paying the $4 million and them contributing the $1 million plus their cost at the beginning, so I think they want us to
Fund it.
fund it.
So the board voted on that. Has the commissioners in their meeting voted on that?
I don't.
Agreed to that?
I believe that they have voted on essentially earmarking that 5 acres. They've expressed their support for what we're proposing.
I would like the commissioners to formally ask us in a meeting or.
Yeah,
I think
they
it's-
can-
That would be my thought.
Eric, I think that'd be appropriate.
Okay.
Well, when we, excuse me, when we established the food and beverage tax, it was contemplated that those funds would be used for special projects, one-time expenditures, and there's no question, there's a need, and of course, this would have to be advertised and so forth, but I would suggest that, in my mind, using food and beverage tax funds for this project would be entirely appropriate.
Wherever it comes from, I'm for the project, and I think that I'm even for the location. I think moving that out of Danville would probably make Danville happier too, so.
Maybe, I don't know, I guess we do need some more positive indication from the commissioners, but I would suggest that maybe after communication with the commissioners, we might be able to put this on our agenda for September
Yeah.
So
for an appropriation.
Todd, will you take that back
I
to the
will.
commissioners?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
And Paula, how much money do we still have if we did a $4 million?
We currently have, as of today's date, 11,303,778.90.
Is any of that earmarked for anything else currently?
Yes.
It is.
How much?
Yes.
the answer is yes.
Yeah, a lot, quite a bit.
Yeah, most,
'Cause I'm not
a good portion of that is earmarked.
I was gonna say, I'm not even sure we have the funds in there to do that.
Right.
I think
Yeah, I have
Well, when the bond comes
That's-
through, the fairgrounds will be repaid $3 million.
That's what'll have to happen. So the fairgrounds, we appropriated $3 million for them to start construction
Okay.
on their project, okay? Until we issue bonds for the new building.
Which is
Then-
going to be this year.
It's going to be
correct?
sometime at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And so with that happening, once the bonds are issued and settlements are done, then that bond funds will then come back and replace the $3 million going back to food and beverage. So probably to your point, we can probably not do anything out of food and beverage until that $3 million gets reimbursed.
And I
And I
don't
don't
think
know.
he needs it before then.
We shouldn't need it.
You won't need it, but
Yeah,
it
we're
it
doing
probably
that
not gonna be until
first now.
February, January, February, I would assume, Nancy?
Yeah, it would be,
It's
if
gonna be
we're
a couple
bonding
months.
this year, it will be in the bank the day of closing.
So,
Which would be later this year, and we're not sure when. We're thinking I think we're talking about December.
November probably. 'cause
November, I think.
December's
Avoid
normally not a good
December,
time.
yeah.
So I have the feeling that the council is all for this, but we can't really do it today.
Understood.
Right.
To make sure we're with the commissioners, but also from a financial standpoint, how that would come around.
Yeah.
So currently, currently what's earmarked for the rest of this year is $10,180,000.
We got a cookie jar empty.
Give or take a million.
And some of that too is some of the parks, I think,
Absolutely.
with like $4.5 million
Yes.
is still out there that
Correct.
is,
Right.
may not come out, but I
Right.
think
Well,
it's.
he's gonna encumber it.
It's going to
so
encumber it, so
it's
it's still spent.
Yeah.
So it may be February before we might have really the numbers to really move forward, but I think you got the consensus.
Okay, well,
That's my
and,
opinion.
and I don't believe it would be needed until
Yeah.
construction's underway anyway, so,
I think it's very doable, but it's just a matter of time.
understood.
Yeah, so if the commissioners bring it to us in September, we can approve it, and then you don't need your money until 2017, right? So-
Correct. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank
So
you.
really you need to be, making sure that we're going out to bond for this fairgrounds, so that way we can get the $3 million back in the cookie jar, so we can turn right back around and.
Understood.
And by the meantime, we'll make another $1 million on food and beverage to cover that gap.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, very informative.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
These miscellaneous ones up,
Nope, we've got them.
all of them.
How are you gonna entertain waiting on the commissioners for their recommendations?
I sent a notice to Mila and Dennis and asked if they could get it done by their next meeting, so that I can bring it back to you in August.
Which would be the fourth Tuesday then, be a week after our meeting.
Well, their meeting next week.
Their meeting next
So
week.
then,
Oh.
they,
Then
if
we
they
meet
get
the
their
next week.
recommendation
Okay.
approved, then I can bring it back to the council meeting.
Okay.
They'll be good at this month.
Do we need to take further action on the ones?
They have to approve them, right?
I would just cover all the ones that are not special requests.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Make a motion to approve the ones that are not special requests.
I'll move to accept the 1,000 line items that have not been approved, and your disclaimer to correct things would still be in effect in case something comes up that you could bring back to us, in case we
Okay.
miss something.
Okay, we have a motion, and I'm not going to repeat that motion. We will stand with Nancy's motion, and we have a second? Yes. And we have a second to that motion. Any discussion on this?
To clarify, this is basically just reaffirming the 3% that all of them had.
That all were
All of them
calculated
did that,
in.
but that's okay.
Yeah,
We need to be more
confirmed
specific,
the
that's fine.
percentage, but we didn't confirm the.
Okay.
And sometimes I found that, like the thing we just approved for Nikki, might be the old wage in here, and then it gets lost in the shuffle, so things like that happen
Yeah.
due to timing, so.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, so that would be a 6-0. Mr. Watson is not present at the moment. So, are we complete with our actions for this budget process meeting?
I got a question or just something to throw out. And sitting here for the last 2 days, discussion, and here we got 13 positions and some grade changes and such. I'm just offering this up. As you take in everything that everybody's talking about, we continue to hear some growth and some changes and such. Should we possibly look about reevaluating departments with the grades? And I'm not saying do a full-fledged wage study again. Is there certain departments, should we pick out and choose and say, well, I think this department might need to be updated? You just heard Nikki a minute ago, it's probably too early to do anything with that, but should we look at different departments and try to say, well, let's take these departments and reevaluate and see, and do it sort of a little bite at a time, or not do anything at all? I just, as I've sat here and pondered this on what everybody's asking for and such, it's just something to think about, or not.
Well, I think something like that probably should be done routinely anyway, even if you're like doing 1 or 2 departments a year. I mean, what Nikki also brought up was she has a couple positions which may no longer be necessary. And those are things that hopefully would help uncover. So I think something like that should be ongoing. And I realize that to do everything would be too monumental and too costly. But doing 1 or 2 a year and then doing it, every 4 or 5 years, I would think probably make sense to do it occasionally, to review it, to make sure that we're being as reasonable and thoughtful with the taxpayer dollars as we can.
That doesn't work in government, because if you do 1 or 2, the other 40
You're going to be out of
are
whack then.
ticked off.
Yeah.
And I've thought of that too.
I mean, it just doesn't work. They all have to be done at once. And we totally trashed what we paid close to $100,000 on by adding the performance to it. So it is all over the place. I went through and there's very few people who are paid at the scale. Most people are over the scale.
Well, maybe I'm visualizing something a little bit different. I'm not solely talking about salaries. I'm talking about position needs. Are these positions appropriate? Do we need more positions because of added duties that are required? That's kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that would be fine. But
legislative-
not anything tied to money.
That's
Grades, because you can't just do one and,
Yeah.
it'd be nice if you could phase in.
But I would guess that as far as office holders and department heads, for reviewing their departments or offices for positions, going to be almost none are going to say, oh, I don't need these positions anymore. I mean, Nikki was, I think, one of the minority.
That's kind of an exception.
And that was due to technology, I think.
Well, she's
So-
been given a lot of positions also.
It's that legislation piece, Larry, with the personal property that was going to
Yeah.
make adjustments to her. So that's
Yeah.
a legislation
Yeah.
issue that's out
Right.
of our control.
Yeah.
And it's just something that just, as you sit here and you listen and you think, and when you got 500 and some odd positions here and different departments, it's just, I thought, let's just throw it out and have a discussion about it. And, it seems like wages and salaries and positions is the biggest bear in the room that we challenge every year.
Oh, it's over half our budgets, yeah.
It's just, as far as a monetary thing and our budget and the
30 million.
challenges that everybody has, and it's just not us as a council, but even department heads and officials have challenges with employees. I get it. And legislation, and I just thought, just air that out and just say, let's have a discussion. What do we think?
Technology has saved those who do that type of work, like the assessor's office, our office, treasurer's office, recorders. I think I had the same number of people in 2001. So the technology saved us because we were one step above a calculator before.
So to elaborate on that, to 911, just coming up with the AI thing. All right, how much of that's going to play in the future? Is that going to be something that can play in some departments? I don't know. I don't have the knowledge of that, but instead of the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog, I just thought let's just talk about that and see what everyone's opinion is. Are we doing the right things? Do we need to make some changes or reevaluate? What do we need to do? Because we're 7 years into this, So,
Wait till after 28, and I'll be gone. Larry and I'll be gone.
we all might be gone.
That doesn't sound like a reason to wait.
It's such a big project, and we literally went through,
Oh, yeah.
we did hell, would you describe it as hell?
Oh, yeah. A lot of toes stubbed along the way,
Yeah.
too.
So, and it's, as long as we as far as money, update the scale each year by the COLA, it's somewhat.
Yeah, that helps.
And if you compare our wages to other counties, we are far above
Yeah.
where, except Hamilton, we can't
Yeah,
compare to
that's
Hamilton.
totally
yeah.
different.
Yeah, we're very fortunate with our situation.
You can use Hamilton as a guide, but not a gauge.
Yeah.
And when I say a guide, is they're 10 or 15 years ahead of us.
Before closing, Mr. Wathen, any comments, thoughts?
Nope.
Mr. Wathen? Not Wathen, but Mr. Hessen? No? Thank you.
I just want to thank you all for your understanding as I'm trying to whittle my way through learning this for the second year, so thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Think? Mr. Wyatt?
I shared my opinion of.
All right.
You're doing great, Chuck. It takes years. I
Yeah,
I still learn something.
There's no more
anytime-
excuses now, Chuck.
Anytime I go, as
Oh,
with
so
the
it's
ever revolving legislature.
There's always more.
Always more.
Ms. Marsh?
I used to tell everybody it would be easier, and Cindy and I did. It's gonna be better next year.
And it
Everybody
is.
needs to put that out of their mind, because it is not going to be better.
Oh, my
Because of the
goodness.
legislature. They've thrown us some bad things.
Yeah, but that's gonna be part of it. But what you've all done with this design of this here's made it a lot palatable for us.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, very
it's-
much. We thank you for
Yeah,
that.
fine tune it helps a lot.
Anything else? No? Mr. Cox?
I'd just like to thank everybody for their cooperation and input. We have a very interesting group here, and everybody's up to their expertise. I think we're going well together.
And we can express our opinions without anybody getting mad.
Nobody's doing anything.
I was just thinking earlier that today, the expertise and the dedication of the folks on the council, I think is pretty amazing. And I think the citizenry of the county doesn't appreciate what expertise there is and what's done here. So it's just something that had come to me this morning.
Okay, well, at this time, I am adjourning our budget process meeting for 2026 for the year 2027. Thank you all very much. Thank you, auditors. Thank you, financial. So this is it.